but it's not. Hello, private group. Happy Monday. We're going to be making a Christmas ball wreath, which I've never done before, but I've always wanted to do. So let me make sure that I get everything all pulled up. I just saw it. Here we go. And so what you're going to need is an awful lot of Christmas balls. So I have yet to make one, so I don't know how many balls it will take. But you need to have a wide variety of non-breakable balls in order to put together the design. I just was like going through I have a giant, like 3 foot by 2.5 feet high by about 2 feet across that I just dump all my Christmas balls in whenever I'm finished with the project. So we're going to be doing it with this. I have like Christmas balls scattered everywhere. So what you're going to need is, and I should have measured this, whatever size this foam, this round foam thing is, because I kind of had all my bulbs set up so they didn't fall off the table. So let's just kind of stick those all up there. I'm sure we'll figure out a new method for starting them. This is a 14-inch foam, hard foam wreath form. I think it comes like, it's like 13.9 is how it's listed at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Joann's. You could also even use a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame and do the exact same thing and glue them. But on the Dollar Tree one, you're going to probably need to put something on the back, because I think it would just, like, let me see. This was like the one that I had. You would kind of do it the same way, but you're going to kind of glue them to the outside part and the inside part of your frame. But you can do it either way, depending upon what you have. So like I said, it's a first for me. I've never done one, so we're just going to do that. Glue guns on. Once we're starting to build through, I'll just kind of calculate, okay, if you're using, I think these are 2-inch diameter balls, you know, and you were putting those on the outside, it's going to take you, I think it's 24 that fit around the outside. So, let's go ahead and get started. Hi, Simone. Hi, Anna. Hi, Gail. Hi, Audrey. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Susan. So just something super simple for today. Always take your caps of your ornament hangers off, because if you glue them from this point and they separate, then your balls are going to fall off. So you don't want that to happen. We're probably going to go through a lot of glue. And for me, I'm just kind of keeping these with the basic Christmas colors. So I'm doing, I'm going to try to push that in there. There we go. Kind of give it a brief, hold on to it in order to get it. You probably could, now that I'm thinking about it, you can probably take a couple of them and then just go run and punch holes in. But not every ball is the same diameter. So, you know, who knows? Traditional Christmas has a tendency of lasting, working out better, selling better than something else. But you can do these in any color combination. I know like Hobby Lobby, Dollar Tree, Joann's, Michael's will all sell, you know, ornaments that are all put together in like nice color combinations, and you can just follow suit with that. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and kind of push that one through. And then this way, when I go ahead and blob my glue in, we've got that one going. I just wish the glue dried faster. And I have it on high, so let's put it on low, and maybe that will keep it drying a little quicker. So I'm just kind of angling these, pushing them into my foam form. Putting a nice dollop of glue on them, pushing them in, because once you get the inside and the outside done, then it gets super fun, like just picking and choosing which ones will go where. And have a feeling that this will dry quicker once, now that I've lowered my glue temp. So I'm doing these fairly close together. I'm keeping them even with the level of my board. And then just making sure as I'm smashing that into the form, those are sticking really, really well. So you really want to take your time with the outside. Have any of you made these before? Or am I the only one? And I'm trying to vary the different types of balls, like sometimes shiny, sometimes glittery. I think I'll do a glitter one here for this. Let's go ahead and take those off the table. I'm trying to keep the smaller ones on the inside, so those will glue fairly quick. Just like that. Kind of hold them as I'm going around, and then we'll go with a white. I think would be a good one to pick. And you can see how easy it is just to punch a hole in the side. But I always want to make sure that, and here came my red. My red just popped off. I think because I had too much tension on that between the red and the green. I think I made it too tight. So note to self, don't wedge them in there super, super tight, because you don't want them to pop off. So we'll give these ones just a little bit more time. How many ornaments do you think you will use? Well, considering that they're all going to be a wide variety of different sizes, I'm thinking that the most, I know we'll use 24 of the biggest ones, and those are the ones that are about 2 inches in diameter, the ones that are going on the outside. And then you have the ones like this size, which I want to say these are probably about 1.5 inches. Those are all going to go on our inside. So it would just depend. And now I'm not trying to push them together so tight. So you don't need, you know, to sandwich them in super, super tight. And I'm hoping once we get the inner and outer done, it'll go a lot quicker. Okay, do we have a green? Let's do a gold. So I'm trying to do some shiny, some not so shiny. And you would think once you push your glue in, it would just stay, but it doesn't. It has to set up. And it's so cold out here, I would think that my glue would dry faster, but it's not. So I think we're going to have to go with a red one after this. Okay. Little tiny red. So it looks like a disco ball. So cute. And then we will do the clear, I think. Clear maybe. Because I'm looking green, white. And I'm trying not to like have a specific color pattern going. But I am making sure that I don't have, well, I guess these two are glitter. I'm trying to make sure that I don't do glitter and glitter too close together. A lot of these I got from Hobby Lobby. Quite a few of them I got from Joann's. So let's just do this one because it's kind of cute. Something a little bit different. And then we'll go ahead and do, let's do this champagne color. So I felt pretty comfortable using a lot of the ones that I had in the past. Forgot to poke my hole in this one. But we can do that as we go. Okay, clear. I would also recommend you put a piece of wax paper down, because as the glue drips out, forgot to do this one too. As the glue drips out, it has a tendency of dripping down on your cutting mat. So you can either wait till you're done and then scrape everything off, or put some parchment or wax paper down and just make that so much easier for you in the long run. Okay, let's go with the dark green. Anna said no, she's never made one. So I've never made one, so I don't really have a working formula to go off of. So I can't sit here and say, well, make sure you have 25 2-inch diameter balls. You will need, you know, X amount of whatever ornament balls. I will wait until I'm done, and then I will let you guys know what we ended up using to create the outside perimeter, because that's the biggest, beefiest part. And I'm trying really hard not to snap my ring, because we have to be super careful not to do that. Let's see. Do I have another gold one? Yes, I do. I have these all like color coordinated so that I would know, hey, use the ones around the outside, but then when I went to measure, see, like these are dull and dull. Let's do silver so we can break up that, and we'll do silver. And then at the very end, we'll go ahead and add a ribbon hanger to it. So this can hang. I've seen a couple people do these. You can do like a home decor thing where you take a block of wood and then you glue them together and just keep stacking until you get to the top. And then you have like a ball Christmas tree. But I just thought, you know, we need to vary something. On the wreath stuff, because a lot of us can go, I'm trying to think who has the most inexpensive containers of Christmas ornaments. Is it Hobby Lobby? Like they put them in like the 100 ball containers. Not that you would need 100 of them. You would probably just, like I said, need about 25 of the average size that would fit in the palm of your hand. And then you're going to need 1.5 inches, and then you'll need whatever's going to go in between, like these. I think that's a little too big, so we're probably going to end up having to do like this size for right in between. And then I have a whole bunch of little ones that we'll be able to put in to add even more of a filler. Okay, let's do this green because it's shiny green. And I like to do the seams to the middle. I don't want to see them up on the top. So I'm making sure that my seams are going to the sides. Let's take these off. Just before I went live, the mama deer came in with her twins because there's a break between the rain right now. So I think she was like, hey, I brought the babies. They don't like to get all wet. And can we have our corn now? so I had to go out there. She wasn't exactly thrilled I was walking out, but I was like shaking the containers so she knew. It's like, all I'm going to do is put down the food for you, and then I'll just leave you and go on my merry way. Okay, so let's do the white, since I like this one. I think these ones came from Hobby Lobby, the ones with the little cute designs on them. Okay, and then I'm thinking probably the pearl, like this pearl, or maybe we'll do the green. The green, the pearl. I wish I had, I'm gonna have to see if I have a red that isn't so glittery. Or see if we can break that up somehow. Okay, let's do the green. And I already pulled out my glue sticks because I figured it's going to take a lot of glue sticks. Okay, and then if we did a pearl, and look, we have one more. So that will fit right in here. It's going to be a little tight. Somebody's going to get pretty tight in there. Let's see. What else can we do? Something like this size would almost, feels like it's a little too small though. Maybe we can do it. We'll figure it out. Let's get the hole put in here first. Let's see if we can get this one in. Okay, I think we can do it. Maybe we'll have to glue them both and hold them both to get these in. So there's one. Let's get this one set up and we'll hold that right in there. So we have successfully completed the outside rim. So let's see how many we use. Let's start counting from here. So we'll say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22 2-inch bulbs is what we needed for the outside piece. And then the inside ones are going to be this size. So again, I'm going to be kind of particular about how they're placed so that obviously I'm not placing like lime green with lime green here. But I'll kind of do them in between. So we're going to do the interior. And these are the 1.5-inch balls. I had it. I just couldn't find where my thing was. And we will take our silver one. Remember, don't put too much pressure on them. This one just wants to, doesn't have an awful lot of structure to it. So I'm going to pop one of those in and then place this inside. Because it just wants to kind of give out instead of staying in place. So like that. So maybe have one that you can kind of go around and punch holes in if it gets a little tough to do so. And you won't always have to punch it into the foam. Pretty soon we'll be just gluing them onto the bulbs. And that's where I'm going to probably move my glue gun up to high so that it, you know, when we're gluing, like for example in here, I want it, this one could probably still punch. I find that punching the holes helps keep them in place while they're drying. let's do gold. And this is a gold, kind of a dull. There we go. Kind of spin it around a little bit. Let's go with a glittery one. Wow, this one just does not want to come off. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Hi, Tommy. How are you? So Anna asked, did I go out and buy all the bulbs? Are these a collection of leftovers? These are a collection of leftovers. So a lot of times I'll go out and buy ones for, I don't know, decorating the front of our house, and we'll just have a ton left over. So, let's do a clear shiny one. I just throw them in a big bin, and I have all different color ones. I have like a ton of like beach colors. So I was thinking, do I want to do beach colored one? But I may. We'll see how this one does. And then the beach one would just be like the teals, the blues, silvers, whites, silver, white, blue, teal, like a clear. Let's put this one in since it's super cute. A little red one. So I literally have balls sitting in bins. I have balls sitting in boxes. I'm just kind of waiting to see about how many will this take. Let's do silver. And of course that one's stuck. There we go. So we deemed it that 22 2-inch size balls will be required for the outside, and we'll see how many of the 1.5 inch will be required for the inside. Let's do this lime colored. I have a lot of lime colored bulbs left over. Why? I don't know. There's that one. Let's do one of these shiny. Let's do this one. Let's see. Let's see if we can punch another hole in it. Some of them just don't want to punch holes in them very easily. Do this one since it's kind of a cranberry color. And let's see, probably gold, since we haven't done gold for a bit. Keep throwing these in the trash instead of keeping them here on the table. And then we'll do white, I think, after this. I was able to get out super quick and get a picture of the chickens, the wreath on the door for the chickens. Let's do silver. I can't wait to do these. I see them all the time at Joann's or Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and I thought, that's so easy to make. Why don't I just make one of those? I don't know. I never did. Okay. Let's do, we just did silver. I'd like to get another green one. Oh, here's a green. Like this color green. And then we'll have enough for a red. Because I like the darker greens. We'll rotate that one around. And then we'll do the red disco ball. Just enough. And then I'll calculate this for you and tell you how many we need. Okay, so let me take all the other ones out that are in there. So we're going to start with this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 22 and then 14. Okay. And then now we're going to do on the tops right in here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a little punch. And thankfully gravity will be our biggest resource here. There's not much we can do with the line. Except either make it work in the direction you want or in the direction you don't want. Okay, let's go here. Let's see if we can punch a couple holes in these. So these are going in between each of these. Let's see, do you have any? These are starting to get smaller. Not another green. Let's try a red. Do you have a red? Mixing and matching colors, right? So always go between your spacing. And I'm trying to pull the glue threads off as I go around these. We can do white. It's slightly off, but it'll work. And it looks good if you can get different heights, different colors, different, trying to find, these are a little too big, I think. Let's grab some gold. Dollar Tree is great for a ton of ornaments now because these are the perfect size, and these were, I think, from the year before they were still $1, so they do make them. Trying to go in between these. Trying to make sure I don't mess that up. There's that one. Okay, now we'll do our green. This could be a fun project you could do with your kids or your grandkids, and maybe just have them pick out the colors and just put them wherever they think those colors would look best. Let's grab white, and then we'll get gold, and then we'll find green. So traditional Christmas colors: red, white, green, gold, and silver. Just different shades of those. Is kind of where I'm going with those. And they don't have to all be exactly the same size. I think it looks better if you kind of mix them. So you have some bigger ones, some smaller ones, like paired next to those. Now let's get silver. Okay. Let's see. Let's grab a bigger one for the red. It's just a little tight right there. And I think I popped my green one out because I think I was trying so hard to get them to fit. Okay. Silver. Why not? Let's use some of the bigger silvers. There we go. Just off slightly. What other colors we have? We need a green in here. Let's see. Here's your green. I'm going to try to get these back in their sequence of right between. So I'm going to pop this one here, and then I'm going to put a little white one. Let's do this clear white one. Kind of pop that in here, just so we have a little one. There we go. Okay. Try for white. And I'm trying to let those sit on the other ornaments as well. Not glitter cat. Let's go dull. That's a little too big. Let's go small. It's a little too big. So I'm going to pop that one in because I'm trying to seat them between. Okay, let's grab another gold. Gold there. Gold here. Nope, he's still too big. Let's go with the silver. There's our silver. These ones, for whatever reason, are just so flimsy. Like if you push on them too hard, they just want to completely cave. Little holes. So we'll just make them fit. We can go a little bit bigger. With this goldy color. It's really pretty. So that fits in there nice. It almost feels like we're, what's that? I guess it's not Legos, but we're trying to fit these in nice little places where they'll cover the frame and they will hide everything. So that one finished perfectly. Right in there. So on this one, we're going to count from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we're back to 22. And then now we're going to fill in all these gaps here. With even more balls, we can go big, we can use small. That one feels way too big, so it's probably going to have to find a much smaller ornament for here. That one doesn't want to go. Let's try this white one. Yes. Okay, now we're getting into like 1.5 inches. An inch to 1.5 inches to put these ones on. So we're filling these little gaps in between now. So like in here, I'm not going to go right in between. I'm just going to fill where I am, like in between these two. I'm coming in and making sure this fills in my gap between the two, because then what will end up happening is when we take these even smaller balls, these are going to go in between and they're going to fill. They won't hit the space, so what we're going to have to do because we're going to have to kind of tack it with glue right around here so that when this rests, it's kind of glued and sitting in that space, if that makes sense. Okay. Now we have to get super creative and find even smaller ones that aren't all green or white or blue. So let's take some of these out. Vacuum sealed. Okay, so I'm going in between here for this one. So I'm sitting in between. In between these. Okay, and then I'm not going to worry about those because that's the fun part, coming in and adding those little additional ones in there. Okay, that fit perfect for that. Just like so. Now that I have my heater on in the shop, I don't need my jacket anymore. When I first came out here, it was super cold. I'm like, oh my Lord, how am I going to get in there and, you know, get all that stuff done? That's a little too big now. So these ones now are fitting in between. And if you can't get them to go, you might just wait until you can get it to fit a little ways further down the line. See, like how that one fit there? I feel like I'm building a puzzle, but none of the pieces, like you don't know where the pieces are going to fit. You have to just kind of go with it until you build the entire thing. See, like that can kind of go in there, but I think I'm going to go with a smaller one. Meaning like, we have these super cute ones like that I think will go in there. So let's put this one in. This to me feels like the embellishment work, where we get to add a little bit of fun. And nope, there's too many gold right there. That one's a little too close in color. There goes in. There you go. Keep going around. That one looks kind of cute there. Let's see if we did a smaller, like green one. That looks a little bit better. So let's put that there. Remember, we're going around the outside because we're trying to tag the others. Like that will go in there. We'll probably plop this one in there. Just trying to find a way to make them all fit. This one needs more to the outside. So it'll sit. So you can use the colors of your choice. I wonder if you can use 3 or 4 colors. I guess it depends on the designer. Right. Oh, Darla, that's a perfect example. Lincoln Logs. So yeah, it's going to be entirely up to you what your end goal is going to be. I'm always trying super hard to make sure that we get that one in there. So yes, you can do whatever you would like. Just like so. Let's add a white one in here, just to kind of fill in that space. The white ones are perfect for just about everything. Let's put a gold one in. The gold, let's try the little bit bigger ones. That one can go right in there. So I'm just playing with the sizes, because remember, not all the ornaments are the same size. Some are bigger, some are smaller. Oop. This one does not, its little hook that it had in here was its, I can't find a way to get it to work. Might not. Let us glue down the hook, and then we'll glue the hook so that we can use that one in here. Okay, there's that. And now we're just going to sit here and fill in all the holes on this entire form. Okay. So tons of different little baby ones. So remember, we have to go wide. Let's get you to fit in here. Hey, you. Steve just came in, probably to see what we were doing, which is, yeah, we're just filling in all these little gaps. It's like gaps and cracks for wheels. We can get that to fit in there. Look at that. That's called stick it in there really tight. My poor cutters are covered in glue threads. So I'm just going to take all my glue threads and throw them in my glue pot. So we're just going to keep in and around and filling for fun. So like that will go there. These ones we don't have to worry about the little caps on them because they're not touching anything anyway. So let's put not a green one. How about, do we have any gold? Yes. There's like a little gold one. So let's do that. So now I'm just filling all the holes. Let us put maybe like a green would go in there nice. So see why you need a wide variety of different shapes, colors, sizes, so that you can get them all to fit inside super nice.
Their last area you probably already answered. Has anyone done a wreath with pine cones? I know you were looking at that.
Yes, I was gonna look at doing that next week. I have a ton of pine cones. I just have to spray them all. And then, you know, we can definitely do something like that. Let's see about putting, let's put, not a green one. Color, I guess it needs silver. Oop. I wedged it in there and wasn't planning on that sticking so well. So let's look for some lime green. So like we have some lime green. I'm just pulling out all the colors so I can see them. And then we can kind of just keep filling. Let's put this one right in there. I'm just going to push that one in a bit. So you just keep fitting all your little balls, your little scatters, fillers, if you will. You just keep adding to them until you feel like it's done. You can go to the outside, like I'm filling in wherever I can kind of see the frame of it. I would just add something in here. There are people who take and weave tinsel on the inside to completely cover your form. I'm not that particular about like every nook and cranny needs to be filled, but I will do what I can to get the majority of them filled. And that's where all the little balls come into place.
Dollar Store has tubes of those small bulbs.
Yes.
She said she did get some.
So, I kind of stopped counting a long time ago. Did you guys notice? I don't know how many in particular because that's going to just be, it's going to go back to that user's preference. Whatever works for you. you might decide to stop it at some point and just, you know, put your tinsel in. Tinsel. I had a piece of it here. Did I toss it in the trash? Yeah. So like these little tinsel pieces you can kind of take and just weave them in if you want to completely cover. So I know you can buy these craft outlet. You can get them in their tinsel rope, and then you can cut them to whatever lengths you want. You can kind of stick them in here. I'm just going to try to keep mine, all the little balls, as many of the balls as I can possibly put in there. To where I think I'm kind of happy with how it looks. Like, I know we need 2. So I'm going to probably go a silver one there. But I like the way it's coming out.
You could use colors of your choice.
Yeah, you could. I mean, they have
multiple colors. You could just use one color.
You could just do one color or like shades of that color. Mm-hmm. So there's that one. I'm going to take that one out. Probably replace it with a green one. I think that looks better. Because there's too many red all in one place. And I just keep pulling glue threads out, That's like a different green. Oh yeah, that might be a little too big. Let me see that one. I don't think so, but it's a little too big. It would have had to have fallen in where I had all the rest of them going early on. So see how I just keep either building in, you can come in and, you know, add in here or add on top, and we're just packing that in with different colors. Like we can do that in there just to fill in all the gaps. It's going to be kind of tough to do since there are so many different color variations. I know, I keep finding white. I like have all these. So, not that. Like, we'll probably do green right there. And we'll add a red one, probably right there. So, like, a lot of these mini ornaments I got from Joann's when Joann's had their ornaments, like they were 80% off, or it was like buy one get 4 free, some crazy deal like that. And so I was like, okay, I'll get that. So you can see I'm just building upon building. And if you use all Dollar Tree ornaments, then obviously you're going to keep your costs way down a lot more than like what I'm doing here. But it will depend on how many balls you decide to use. So right now I'm just, here's blue. That doesn't kind of go, but I'm just filling in the gaps on the insides, the outsides, the tops. Like I like that one up there, but we need something in here. Like I did this one out here, but it needs something in there. So I'm doing them basically right now wherever I see a gap. So if I can see a little corner in there, I'll just put a bulb in there so it changes what I can see. So I don't see that in there anymore. Let's do red. At this point, some of them I'm pulling off because I don't want to see the silver side. Like that. It looks so festive. Doesn't it look fun?
Those look super cute.
Yeah, I was telling him, I'm like, you could get your kids to help you and, you know, randomly pick out what colors you want where, you know. It's just fun. And I think the fun comes when you have a ton of your little bulbs here and you can just place them wherever you want them to go. And it kind of adds a little bit of a width and a little bit of the depth.
Simone said, do you think the glue will hold?
Oh yeah, that's why I have it on high. Yep. So now I don't really have to worry about holding it because gravity is just kind of pushing everything down. Whereas before when we were trying to push them in on the side, I had to hold them in place. I have exhausted my supply of little balls and I'm good. I know I needed one there. And I'm like looking, there's a couple places I still see. So that's what I'm filling with the little balls with. Where did I have this one? I think it was right here. Okay. I have one on the outside. So now I'm just going in those cracks on the outside in between and filling those in. I think that this will actually weather very well. So I know a lot of us have been, oh my God, you know, how well is this going to last outside? So I've been doing that experiment with my mailbox swag. It looks as good as the day I put it out there. And we have had such rain here, like you would not believe. And you can't even tell that that has been left outside in the rain at all, which is crazy. Okay.
Yeah, Lena said tinsel garland would be a good filler.
Tinsel garland would be a good filler, especially if you don't want to keep gluing balls. You know, you're like, okay, I'm done. I've used all my balls.
And Walmart would be a good source for bulbs too.
Yeah, but then I don't know how much of this you would need. Like, yeah. I know Dollar Tree does not sell this, but you could just pick like a generic color, like maybe white, and just go with that. Oop, grabbed the wrong color. I'm almost done. I hear her neighbor outside. Can you hear him?
Yeah, I was going to come out earlier, but the deer were out there eating, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's grab another silver. That's blue.
So what they do, just let us know that it should not take longer than an hour and a half to create.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've been doing it right here. There's just a handful. Has it been about an hour?
Yeah.
Right at an hour. Yeah. See, and all I'm doing is I'm just turning it around and I'm like, okay, look, I see like a hole in there. So I'm just going to take one of my ornaments and make sure that I don't see into that, like see in here. So I'm just right out here and placing that right on top. Now you guys said that somebody else had just recently did that or had completed one of these. What did they use for their filler? Or did they? Let's do that and then we'll put this guy in here. Because I'm just finishing these up. That one just got slippery and scooted away from me. Thank you, Steve. This you could also use as a centerpiece with a hurricane lamp in it as well. And I think, have I finished all of my gaps? I feel like I have. That one will go there. Is there any that you see, Steve?
One or two, but it looks like it'd be kind of hard to put
A bulb in there?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. I mean, we can get it in there. Like we were saying, it's like Jenga in reverse. It's like we're putting things in instead of taking things out. Where was it? Right here?
Yeah.
Oop, I missed this one. One more, and I think I'm done. I keep saying that, but for reals, I just needed one right in here. I can see that. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you think it turned out okay? There we go. It's all so cute. I love it. It's super cute. So, and I still have lots of balls left. So, a lot, believe it or not.
Tinsel garland from Walmart.
Tinsel garland from Walmart?
Thin one, and she cut pieces and added to it.
Okay. And that's stuff you can do. Like, there's some people who would take and just kind of tuck these in and kind of go around. But I'm not a fan of tinsel. So that's why I'm like, I just kept gluing more and more and more balls on until I didn't find any more gaps anymore.
So one side, I think you've given me a great idea for a Christmas centerpiece.
Wouldn't that be pretty?
But this is going to be fun and worth the time. I think that would be fun, yeah. That's fun.
I'm just making sure I like glued them all in, because there's been a couple I just kind of set and I never really glued them in place. Well, good. I am super glad that this has inspired you to create something fun or work on something with your family. I'm just kind of doing these ones on the outside. They're just fun. You know, just to kind of know where you want to put things and stop. I think if you have a wide variety of different balls, like different colors, like these with the dots and the dots, the stripes. We have that one that like this one with the little swirl on it, and it's super lightweight, just like this. Let's see what the finished dimensions are though. So we started off with 14 and we finish, it's 19, I would say 19 inches in diameter. Height wise, it's definitely not going to fit in a storm door, but probably no more than like 4 or 5 inches at the top. But yeah, I love this idea of putting this as our centerpiece with a nice hurricane lamp. Or you could put your cake plate on it and put your Christmas desserts on it or a Christmas dish on it. And I think it would do really, really well.
And yeah, the frame was a foam 14-inch frame.
Yes, that's where we started, a 14-inch frame. But you can also do this with a Dollar Tree wreath frame too. We already figured that out. That we could...
she keeps saying it's done, but she keeps sneaking ones in there.
I do. I'm like, oh, look, it just needs one more color right here. But okay, seriously.
The good thing about that with the centerpiece is, right, is pets. Pets won't.
Yeah, pets can't eat this.
But they'll eat
but I think that this would even weather really well if you just had it outside for a season. but I like the functionality of it being able to be used for a wide variety of different things. Okay, everyone. Well, honestly, I think if you got a pack of ornaments no bigger than 2 inches, remember 2 inches just fit on the outside. If you just stick to the 1.5 inches, and then these are, yeah, it's just a little above an inch. It's like 1.1/16 of an inch is what these little ones are. But these came from, like, look, Hobby Lobby from My Little Christmas had these, so they're $8. And they come in a wide variety of different colors, so half off, that's $4. And then you can just get a ton of them from the Dollar Tree for like $1.25 in like 4 different colors. And always buy one more, just so that you're like, well, I think I have enough. No, buy the one more.
Well, Susan asked, did you say you're going to put a bow on it?
No. All I'm going to do is add a hanger. So let's flip this over carefully. Oop, there's one I didn't glue. That's how you'll find them. So here's our back. So we are just going to hang this with a really adorable red satin ribbon. So I'm going to do it a fairly big ribbon because I'm going to put a knot in it. So I'm going to go ahead and knot this. So over, under, and go opposite, and then tight. So this creates that knot that you can't pull through. Floral pins, can you have me too? They're right there. We're going to do this with floral pins because we're doing this on a foam wreath. In the cardboard box. See where it says floral pins? Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and just position this there. And then that's going to be our hanger. And then we'll take photos. Not outside because it is pouring rain. There's one right here. See it? Grab. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of these that came in a wide variety. So floral pins. They are a huge asset. So I always go lengthwise. Trying to get that one to go in. Wouldn't it figure? There we go. It's going in this way, sideways along. And I'm going to do the same thing, opposite, on the other side of my knot. This way my knots won't pull up. I'm going to go ahead and glue so my floral pins won't come out, but the floral pins will hold the knot in. So there is our door hanger, and we're all set.
Yeah, leave the bowl back in.
Oh yeah, the other bowl. It came out right here. I didn't have it all glued in. Now it's gonna stay in. Ta-da! Okay, so here's my hanger. Kind of pairs well. It's not gonna be like underneath unless the customer wanted to hang it here and they didn't want it to be seen, but it has a hanger now, so we're all good. And any other questions? Can that ring be spray painted? Yes, Susan, it can. So you can spray paint the whatchamacallit? The form. I was originally going to wrap mine in ribbon, like a Christmas plaid ribbon, just to hide everything a little bit more. But remember how we were pushing into the foam to kind of give it a little bit of a bite for the ornaments to stick into? I thought if I wrap it in a ribbon, I can't exactly do that. I'm going to have to just glue everything to the ribbon, which I don't like the structure of that. So, but great question. Okay. That's pretty much about it. I hope you guys Let's see. Somebody else says.
How can you do it with a Dollar Tree frame?
How can you do it with a Dollar Tree frame? What do you mean?
Really tough.
No, actually it's not. So look, I showed you guys at the beginning of this video because it was done both ways. So you're going to have to put a felt backing here so you don't see, you know, like we have the foam that's protecting everything being glued, but you're going to just do it the same way. You're going to glue them here and you're going to glue them to the frame. So you're going to glue them all around here, and then you're going to glue them all the way along the bottom frame, and then you're going to start to glue them here, and the same thing. But yes, you can.
Wrap it with felt or ribbon too, right?
This?
Yeah.
Not until it's finished. I wouldn't wrap it because then you're gluing to the felt or the ribbon. So do it the same to where your balls are staying here and being glued to the rail. And then once everything's all glued in place, right? Same theory. Everything all stays together on the back. Once everything's done, you can put a piece of felt back here so you don't see this. We don't see that on here because we pushed it into the styrofoam. So you're going to need a little bit of a backing. Susan said, I think the foam would be efficient. Just be super careful when you're pushing it in so you don't break or crack your form. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining me and have an amazing rest of, well, don't forget tomorrow. I'm working on another design for you guys for tomorrow, so don't forget tomorrow we go a little bit early. We're at 4, and I will talk to you guys then. See you then. Bye for now.